My name is Vilma and I am a knitter from Finland, and in the beginning of this update I do want to address a couple of things. First of all, I have been sick this week and you will probably hear that my voice sounds a bit croaky. That's because of my illness, unfortunately. I have a cup of warm juice here with me so that I can take a sip if I feel like my voice is really giving out on me. It's blackcurrant juice, really nice. And the second thing that you probably noticed immediately is that we are fully in winter in Finland at the moment, so the amount of natural light is very little. On top of that, I am not really a morning person. I always film my videos in the afternoon, so at this hour it is completely pitch black outside already. So I'm filming with an indoor light. So apologies for that. I think it will affect the quality a little bit, but I think it should be okay. So to start off with, I want to mention what I'm wearing, because this is the first time I'm wearing this cardigan in a video. This is the Linescapes jacket by Veronica Lindberg, also known as Kutova Kika, and it was featured in this Line magazine, the number 17, and I knit it with the recommended yarn, which is Snefnug by Kamarose, but in the pattern it's recommended to knit it held double, but I wanted to knit it held single for budget reasons, but also because I figured that I would personally have more use from a more lightweight garment. And I knit this a year ago. I have worn it a lot, and yeah, the yarn is really lovely. The cardigan has these sort of texture that you make with just pearls, very simple and easy. And it has this really cute collar. I think in the pattern it said that it's kinda vintage inspired. And instead of buttons, it has these sort of, I don't know if you can see because I used clear ones, these sort of snaps, which are really useful and really cute in my opinion. I kind of like the invisible look of the button band. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing today. I have no finished objects this week, so I will get straight into the whips. My first whip that I've been working on for the longest now is the Caris pullover. No, what am I saying? It's the Caris Slipover, which is featured in this book, Cumbria, by Mary Wallen. Caris is, of course, a design by Mary Wallen. And let me quickly show a picture of the finished garment here. Try to block my face for better light. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. And I am knitting it in the size small, using the recommended British Breeds yarns, except for one, which I've mentioned before, the dark purple here. Originally that's a blue called a mallard, but I didn't have it, so I just switched it out for mulberry. And this is how the slipover is looking at the moment. So I have done the armhole shaping, and I still have a bit more to go before I do the shoulder shaping. But it's coming along really nicely. I still haven't really woven in much of the ends. I did weave in a few, like around the armhole here, but that's about it. I mean, you can see all of these ends have to be woven in at some point. But I don't worry about it quite yet. And actually I think I have been thinking about this, and I want to be a better YouTuber. So now I am going to add a stitch marker on the current row, so that next time I film I can show exactly how much progress I have done. So there we go, there's my marker. And I would hope that next time, is it too ambitious to wish that I'm done with the back piece? I don't know. I kind of wish that I would be done with the back piece. But as you can see, I have spread myself, not thin, but maybe a little bit, across a few different whips. So I'm not working on the carries like all of the time. And actually my next whip is the one that I have probably worked on the most recently, and that would be my Tamp Sweater by Anna Strandberg, that I'm knitting in the size 2, and I am using Jamieson and Smith. This is the jumper weight yarn, and you can't really on camera see the difference between the whites, but this is the optic white, so the bleached yarn. They also have a natural white, which actually I will mention in a bit in another project. But so, here is my tampere. I'm trying to work with the light here. I mean, I think you can see the texture pretty well. And so, from the last time I filmed, I have split for sleeves, and I have been working on the body a bit. I really like how it's coming along. I have tried it on once, and it felt pretty form-fitting actually, even though I think it's supposed to have maybe a bit over 10 centimeters. I think for me it's supposed to have like 13 centimeters of positive ease, but it felt more form-fitting than oversized, which is nice. But of course, finishing the body, adding the sleeves, will also affect the fit quite a lot. One thing that hasn't happened yet, but will happen with this sweater, is that I will have to play yarn chicken in some time. I think definitely when I reach the sleeves, it will be yarn chicken time, because I don't have that much left of the yarn. So yeah, but I will cross that bridge when I come to it. I refuse to worry about it right now. I still have yarn, I can still knit, and I'm very happy with this sweater. Not so happy with the lighting, but we will do our best. And the same thing with this one. I'm going to add a marker to keep a better track of my progress. For this one I'm adding the only really fancy marker that I have, which is this little cat in a cup, super cute. And I'm kind of hoping that maybe next time I have finished the body already. I don't think that's too unrealistic. Oh, and another thing I wanted to mention, because like I said last time, when I had finished the sort of the back shaping, the neck shaping, and I joined in the round, my starting point was like about here, so in the front. And when I started doing the purl rows, it's like purl knit rows, I had to do like a little slip stitch thing to not have it jog between the rows, like switching between the textures. But you can still definitely see where the beginning of the round is. Like, yeah, you can definitely see it over there. But at this point I can definitely say that it doesn't bother me, and I think it really doesn't make the sweater look bad. So yeah, really feel glad that I decided to just continue and not rip back. And overall, very happy with this sweater, very happy with my progress, and I will keep working on it. Then just a very quick crochet update. Let me show the project. It's from this Japanese crochet book, which has like 200 different crochet squares, and it doesn't have any patterns besides just explaining how you make the squares, but it has some pictures for inspiration, and my inspiration are these seat covers. So my plan is to make 6 of the covers, which I did the math. I think one seat cover has 16 squares, so if I want to make 6, I think it's 96 squares in total. So yeah. And my plan is that I want to have all of the squares done before I assemble them for the individual seat covers, to make sure that every cover is very beautiful, but they also look cohesive as a group. So that's my plan. So I have made 2 kinda basic squares. This one in the pale yellow. Yeah, now the light is really not doing any favors. Can I? Ooh. That's a little bit better. If I block my face. No, whatever. And then this is like a dusty rose. Then, unfortunate little flower square. I was doing this one, little flower, and the white part is the undyed or like unbleached white, natural white by Jameson and Smith. And I ran out of it. Like, for the last little corner here, I only had to do this bit, but I ran out of the yarn. And I am pretty determined, to just buy a new skein of the yarn and then finish this instead of using a different white, because I'm sure that I can tell the difference and it's going to bug me. So with this one I will just be patient and wait until I can buy more of the yarn. So that was sort of first yarn chicken lost. Unfortunately it doesn't end here. Because next I want to show a new Caston. So from my autumn knitting plans, I had the Run Rabbit Run hat by Lumikarmitsa, and I finally cast it on. So this is what the Caston looks like at the moment. I have a stitch marker to show the beginning of the round. So as you can see, I finished the ribbing for the hat. This is done in Mary Wallen's British Breeds in the shade Corncockle, and pretty much as soon as I started the color work I ran out of the Corncockle shade. So even though this is a stash project, I have to get one more skein of Corncockle to finish this hat. So for now it's kind of hibernating before I get to buy more yarn. So another project kind of stalling because I ran out of the specific yarn that I wanted to use. Juice break. In general, with my stash busting projects, I am really not the most smart when planning them. Like, I pretty much never count the actual meterage of the yarn or even the weight or anything. I just pick out what looks nice to me, and so I'm not really surprised that I'm in this situation where I ran out of yarn and actually have to buy some more of it. But also I think that in the end I still use up more yarn than I buy if I start out with yarn that I have in my stash. And I do have another cast on this time, also from my autumn knitting plans. I had a pair of socks in there, which is the 24H Avec socks by Nina Laitinen. They are in the Arabia X Novita sock magazine. I have the digital copy of it, and I couldn't find these socks anywhere else. So I believe that they are only featured in this magazine. But here's where I am so far. So I have finished the leg part. Do you have a proper name for this part of the sock in English? Because I know what this is called in Finnish, but I actually don't know if it's called anything in English except the leg. Is it? Let me know. let me know. And the heel is just a heel flap and gusset, which I'm pretty sure this is actually my favorite way of doing a heel, because I've done it the most, and yeah, I find it pretty easy and nice. And so now I'm working on the foot part. Mine, I'm doing it in the size 39, which is usually my shoe size, and they fit very nicely. Because the sock is made in this like knit pearl texture, the sock actually doesn't have any ribbing, because you don't really need it the texture basically acts just like ribbing. And I am working on, I think these are 3mm needles. Oh, the number has rubbed off, of course. Well, I am pretty sure these are 3mm DPNs. Wooden ones, which is my preferred DPN and preferred needle in general. And I am using the Novita 7 veljestä sock yarn, but mine is like a vintage edition. As you can see from the label, this is a pretty old one. And this is a 150-gram skein. I think nowadays the 7 veljestä skeins come in only 100 grams. And they don't have a color exactly like this one anymore. This is kind of a brick red. In this light it looks more orange, but in person it's a bit more red. And yeah, actually, usually I prefer working two socks at the same time. I don't do magic loop. I simply work the leg part of one sock, then start the leg part of the other sock on different set of same size needles, and then do the heel, and so forth. But with this one, I don't know, I have been really enjoying working on it, so I have just wanted to keep going on this one sock. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that for the next time I will have this sock finished, and hopefully I have started on the second one. Then those were all of my whips and new castons. But I do have one acquisition that I want to share. I have everything piled here right next to my phone. Though it feels a bit strange to say that it's new, because I actually got it almost 2 months ago now, in the very beginning of October, but it was like just 1 or 2 days before I left to stay at my boyfriend's house, so I didn't get a chance to talk about it. But it is the special number of the Line magazine, the Pohjolan Neulet, or I think in English it's called Nordic Knits. I got the number in Finnish, and this is the special number that has 17 patterns, all of them created by Nordic designers and inspired by Nordic traditions and nature and that sort of thing. And yeah, I have to say, I really like most of them, and I would like to knit most of them as well. But the one that I will probably knit the soonest, I think, maybe I shouldn't say this on record, because then I feel like I have to stay accountable to myself. But the one that I could see myself picking up the soonest is this one, called Louis, and I think this one was designed, let me check actually, yes, by Sandnesgan designed team. And yeah, it's just like a really basic pullover. I think it's knit with two yarns held together, but I don't really have anything like that, and I would really like to have that one. So yeah, really exciting to pick out some patterns from here to knit in the future. And they also gave me this little notebook as a freebie. Yeah, I actually don't know if they put this notebook with everyone's order, because I actually had some trouble with my order, and this was the second magazine that they sent to me, because the first one was delivered to a wrong address, and I could never recover it. I tried to contact the person who lives in the other address, but I couldn't get a hold of them in any way. So I contacted Line Publishing, explained the situation, and they sent me a different one. So I was wondering if they put this with every order, or if they put this for mine before going through all the trouble to get the magazine finally. But it's a nice little notebook. I think the pattern is designed by D. Hardwick. And yeah, just blank pages. I think you can also buy this notebook from Line Publishing for a few euros. Really nice. Maybe I will take this on as my knitting notebook after I've filled my current one. We'll see, but very nice, to say the least. So that is everything from me for now. Thank you for bearing with me and my sickly voice, and I feel like also my thoughts are more scattered than usual. And also the light situation. This will probably be how I film my videos for the next 4 months. Winter in Finland is long, unless I magically become a morning person and will film my videos right after the sunrise, which actually I think the sunrise is more crazy than the sunset, like the timing of it in winter here, because yes, the sun goes down like early in the afternoon after like 3, but I feel like to most people it's even crazier how late the sun rises. I live in the south of Finland, and here the sun rises at 8:30 in the morning, which is so late. Like if you wake up before 8, it's pitch black, and you know, most people who go to school, who go to work in the morning, yeah, you have to commute in total darkness, and you probably don't even see the sunlight if you're in like school or in an office or something. But yeah, I'm a student, so I usually sleep later than that. Like I said, not a morning person. So that's all the chit chat as well. Please let me know what you're working on. I hope that you haven't caught a cold or any flu this autumn, though they are definitely making the rounds at the moment. And I hope that you're enjoying your knitting and staying really cozy and healthy and making the most of this season. And I hope to catch you next time. Bye!